Okay. For some reason, the word samadhi, dhyan, zen, meditation, when you think about, when you hear the word, that word, what do you think? What is your first image? Zafu? Isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah. Meditation or closing eyes. Yeah? If you see somebody like this, your mind immediately, oh, meditating. Isn't it? If somebody is doing whatever, what's this? Do you think anybody would say he's meditating? I don't think so. You understand? This is important. What I'm saying is important. We have built this culture. The meditation means, there's a reason though. There's a reason for this. And it's unfortunate, but at the same time, there's no other way. I don't think so. Especially for the beginners. There's a story. Okay, I mean, like, as I said yesterday, the chances of, especially for the beginners, chances of gaining the awareness by sitting on a zafu, sitting straight, is higher than in a hammock, lying down. That's the reason. But I need to tell you that this way of understanding, this way of putting meditation all in this kind of context, sitting. You know, I've been thinking about this a bit. You know, I'm not a, this really true spiritual, Buddhist. I think about, Buddhist popularity. I think about the Buddhist population, so to speak. I like quantity rather than quality. I like to have lots of quantity so that quality, all the other lamas can take care of it. You understand? They can work on it. So I've been thinking, like teenagers, kids. For the kids, you have to make Buddhism cool, right? Cool. How do you say in Spanish? Cool? Chilo. Ah, that's right. I like this. Such a nice word. Chilo. Yes. You need to make Buddhism cool. Now imagine. Here I have 12 years old girl, 13 years old boy, 6 years, I don't know. Tell them to. Not chilo. It's so boring. Why would you do that? But this is what we do. And it is so frustrating because if you look at the wisdom of the Buddha, sitting straight is the least important. It is important for the beginners, all of that, but it is not like the most important. the awareness, having a good awareness is the most important. Constant awareness is the most important. That is what you need. So I want to tell you this first, because every time when we talk about meditation, which we will do very soon, there is this thing. There is this longing for abiding, sitting, abiding. You understand? When the thought comes, you will consider this as you are not meditating. When there's no thoughts, or when you feel that you have no thoughts, then you feel, now you are okay. But that's not true. If the thought comes like a waterfall, if there is a constant awareness, fantastic. If there is a lot of bliss and abiding, but if there is no awareness, not good enough. So, when you meditate, when you sit, and when the thought comes, do not treat them. Don't build this animosity towards the thoughts. Oh, here they come. That kind of, like animosity. Don't have that. In fact, develop some sort of a, come on, come on, give it to me. Like, okay, here I am, come on. See, who is good at this? Come on, okay? And then the thoughts will come, and then you just watch. And then they will slowly go, you watch, you understand? So you're almost like, you can't have enough of it. That kind of, sort of attitude you have to build. That kind of, and this is really important, especially if you want to develop like a warrior kind of meditator. There's several types of meditator, by the way. Which you should all sort of apply, like a thief-like meditator. Thief? Like really, like, you understand, like hiding, make sure that you don't make noise. You understand? Thief-like meditator, boatman-like meditator, warrior-like meditator, king-like meditator, and don't try this one, but I will just mention the name. Temptress, right? Seductress, temptress. How do you say this in Spanish? Temptress. What? Seductor. Okay, seductor. Not yet. For the for the beginners. For the beginners, because to be a seductress, you need to have a confidence, You need to have a lot of confidence. You need to have the customer in your, what do you call it? Little finger. You have to, so not yet. Right now, mainly thief-like, and try to apply also warrior-like, thief-like. So what I mean is a little bit of paranoia also, but at the but also, always tell yourself, well, there's always a lot of chance. Always tell yourself there's always a lot of chance. What I mean is, Because what your job is to catch the thought, isn't it? A thought comes and you just watch. And then if you develop too much of this paranoia that you will never catch one, like a really bad fisherman, then that's not good. But you don't have to worry not because you are such a good, catcher, but just because there's too many fish. You could just be blindfolded and catch, just grab here and you will have a handful. There's so many thoughts. You are rich with thoughts. This is something that you have. You don't have to buy, you don't have to download. You have a lot of it. So with this attitude, we need to. But, okay, I hope you remember some of the technique before, but this time, I'm going to now, build bridge between Vipassana and the Shamatha. So this time, I want you to be aware of your body. Body is a very vague term, I know, but just watch your body. And also your feeling, more your physical feeling. Okay? Blue tempanya varshawa, sorwa tempanya varshawa, and sem tempanya varshawa, chue tempanya varshawa. I'm about to embark on the 4 sort of very important mindfulness, you can say, to samadhi. So, just, okay, so for the body, right now, I think we can just do this, sitting straight. So that is more or less, it's a body mindfulness. But other times, just like in the Japanese tea ceremony, this is exactly what they were doing. In the Japanese tea ceremony, they have this, the way they hold the cup and then the way they mix the tea and then all of that is actually body, it's like how to hold the cup and all of that. Being in the present. Because the actual tea, the Japanese tea ceremony's tea is not delicious. It's after all of that, it doesn't taste good. You must know, it's disgusting. Actually, it's like a grass juice. It's like a grass juice. That's it. So, yeah, being aware of your body. Being aware of your body. Yeah? Okay. Okay, so watching the body and watching the feeling. Tomorrow, we will try to do watching the mind. Now, watching the dharma or the phenomena is really difficult. Let's see where we could reach. So, okay, we will do several times. So, we won't do long. We will do short ones. Okay, so please. Okay. Okay, let's start. This time you can also move if you need to sort of move, but I mean not unnecessarily. You don't have to, you don't have to deliberately move. But if you need to cough, you can cough. But then you just be aware of the feeling. Like your toes, fingers, your knees, elbow, eyelids. Probably at this stage you may have a little bit of physical sensation somewhere. Just be aware of that. If you are distracted, come back to the body and the feeling. Okay, stop. Stop the meditation for now. Okay, again, let's do it. If you are distracted, just come back to the body or feeling. If you are agitated, come back to the body and the feeling. If you are dull, come back to the body or feeling. Okay, let's stop. There are many techniques. This is called Dremba Nyevar Jagwa Ye, which is 4 sort of methods of mindfulness. There's so many other categories. This is a very popular one. And again, if you want to know sort of the reason behind this, when you think of yourself, when you say me, what are you talking about? Only 4 things. Immediately, you are thinking about your form, your body. You understand? Your body. Next, more subtle but more important is your feeling. That's more important. More subtle but more important and more powerful. Next, much more subtle than the body and the feeling, but much more powerful, mind. I mean, without the mind, who is this when you say me? The last one, the most subtle, most pervasive, and the most stubborn. We call it dharma, meaning references. Like, I'm a Mexican, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm tall, I'm short, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a daughter, I'm a mother, all kinds of reference. All sorts of reference. Now, this is kind of difficult, but you know what I mean. So usually, what do? This form, feeling, mind, and the dharma, the reference. Usually, when we get insecure of our body, feeling, mind, and reference, we look outside, we look outward. So for the body, I don't know, kinds of references, like not to eat pasta. That's something to do with the body, isn't it? Like overweight, not overweight, I don't know, stuff like tall, short, Tom Cruise-like. What? 6-pack, 9-pack. Fashion, Dolce Gabbana. What is the Spanish? Zara, right? And then what is the Mexican? Zara? Is Zara Mexican? Anyway, fashion, I don't know, image. And not only just your own, we then create more, like sofa seat that you buy is very important because it really represents you. Can you believe this? This is the strangest thing. Like what kind of sofa? Interior design, the architecture, the flower pots. I don't know, everything. The kind of the car that you drive. The flat car, the tall car, the boxy car, all that form. So that's how we get again drifted and get entangled and get caught up with the game, and then we suffer. Just the form. Now, feeling, so big. Feeling. Since this is becoming sort of afternoon, usually towards the late afternoon, I become very negative and critical. So I don't want to talk about the feeling too much, because it's feeling, the human being's feeling. I was just watching Gone with the Wind. When was this made? 86? 1936. wow, things that is happening in that movie, if people show it, if people do it, if people actually, if Hollywood makes this kind of movie with that kind of behavior they have an uproar. So the feelings is a big business. It's a very, very important driving force. And our personal feelings, like in Behind the Wall, I'm talking about the wall. You're like in that country. You have to be really careful how much voice you raise your voice, because they call it, he yelled at me, right? Yell. Yeah, he yelled at me. Oh, that could create a lot of feeling problem. Yell. And then so much political correctness. The list goes on. So anyway, I don't want to go on this. So that's the problem. So let's do one more time, and then we will stop. But this time we are talking about the physical feeling. Tomorrow we do the more mental and physical both. And by the way, the 4 mindfulness way I'm doing at the moment is a bit like Shamatha, Vipassana. I'm embarking from the Shamatha to the Vipassana. Okay? Okay. Your nose, nostrils, eyelids, toes, arms, shoulders, just simply aware of those. No need to fabricate. Feelings, physical feelings, sensations rather. Okay, good. Just this is something we were talking about, like to the teenagers or kids, if those who are working with the teenagers or kids, whatever, they all want to look chilo, they all want to look cool. They all really want to look cool. I think if you tell them to do a little bit of this technique of watching the body, just, not fabricating, not like visualizing, not like lights coming, nothing that. Just watching the body. being aware of the body. Key to the chilo. It's the key to the chito. Chilo. Chito. Chilito. What is it? Chido. Okay, chido. Okay, I will write chido. I really like this word. Chido. Okay, we have been sitting here for long, so we will end it here. Please try to insert a little bit of awareness here and there as you walk, as you are eating, talking. No need to sit straight in the middle of, the shopping malls or something like that. Just being aware. Okay, thank you.